Good day, Hampton Roads. Good day, world. This is another deep dive into a very important topic. We're going to be talking about something very, very simple. Talking about the tax advantages that you do get. So, hold on a second. When it comes to, just bear with me. I got to get to my top part. What is tax deferred investing? Index accounts, banks versus CDs versus the tax advantages of the index. So, you ever looked at your bank account and thought, I'm saving, but my money isn't really growing? Today's video is for you. We're going to break down in plain English what deferred investing is, actually means, what an index account is, and how it compares to just leaving money in the bank or CD. No jargon, no hype, just education so you can better ask yourself questions and make better decisions. My name is Howard Martell. I'm a home-based business owner, and I will be a future consultant with a financial company that we are clients of for 2 years. So I'll be on the 29th. I'll be starting that journey, serving the greater families in Hampton Roads and the Virginia area. My focus is simple: help everyday people understand money in plain English before they ever make a decision. What you hear today is educational, not individual advice. Everyone's situation is different. So always talk with a licensed professional before you act on anything. That's the key. Part one: what is a tax deferred investing? Let's start with tax deferred investing. Simple definition. Tax deferred means you don't pay taxes each year on the growth inside the account. You usually pay taxes later when you take the money out, often in retirement. You're basically saying to the government, let me grow this first and I'll pay taxes later when I withdraw. What does that matter? Because when you don't lose a chunk to taxes every year, more of your money can stay invested and compound. Here's a simple example in conceptual concept. Imagine two people. Alex uses a regular taxable account, and Brooke uses a tax deferred account like a traditional IRA or 401k. They both invest $5,000 per year for 20 years, earning an average of 7% per year. For Alex in the taxable account, each year some of the growth gets taxed. So not all the 7% stays in the account. Some goes to the IRS along the way. For Brooke, the tax deferred account, the full 7% stays in account every year. There's no annual tax drag on growth. Brooke will generally end up with more money in the account after 20 years, not because she's smarter, but because she's using tax deferred compounding, had more fuel. Important. Tax deferred does not mean tax free. You're saying, let it grow first. I'll deal with the taxes later. You can mention common examples: traditional IRAs, 401ks, some annuities, and retirement plans, depending on your compliance comfort. Part two: what is an index account? Here's a conception. Let's talk about the index accounts. People use them in terms of different ways, but in education, we do. We're usually talking about an account where the interest is linked to a market index like an S&P 500, but you're not directly invested in the market like a stock fund. The idea: when the index goes up, you may get a portion of the upside credited as interest, often subject to things like caps or participation rates. When the index rate goes down, you might have a floor, for example, 0%. So you don't get a negative interest from the index that year. You're typically trading some of the big upside in exchange for protection in the bad years. Simple example. I'm going to illustrate. Let's say you put $10,000 in an index strategy. It has a 0% floor and 8% cap for teaching purposes. Year one, the index goes up 12% because of the 8% cap. You'll be credited with 8%. Your value goes up to 10,800. Year two, the index is down 15%. Because of the 0% floor, your credited interest from index zero is not is negative 15. Your value stays around 10,800. So you're and ignoring fees. So what you see here is you're in a vehicle that's been around for 200 years and been used by multiple families, and you have the ability to be able to partner with our organization, and all you got to do is contact one of our agents, our licensed agents that are there, or attend one of our simple money 101s, right? Where our executive does all the training for us. We take our notes. We're there through the process with you. You're able to, after an hour, they feed you. They ask you to fill out a survey of what you like, what you didn't like. If you want more information, that's it. And then you move on your way. And then, of course, you'll follow up with that specific licensed agent so you can get a sit down in a more confidential thing. So this is just breaking it down. So say the value stays at 10,800 ignoring fees. In year three, the index is up 5%. That's under the cap. So you might get the full 5%. Your move moves up to 11,340. Again, this is an illustrated idea, not a quote or guarantee. Key idea. You're not getting every bit of the market gain, but you're aiming to avoid market losses on the downside, like you have with your 401ks or your TSPs. Depending how the contract is structured, these strategies are often part of a certain indexed annuities or indexed life insurance products, and they come with rules, fees, caps, and surrender periods that a licensed professional will explain in detail to you. Part three, the bank versus CDs versus tax advantage index accounts. Now let's compare these three common realities. Regular bank savings accounts giving you 0 to 0.1%, and they're charging you to keep the money in the bank. Is that being a very smart steward? I don't think so. Certificate deposits, those change every single year. They give you anywhere from 3 to 5% of whatever the bank has. I know right now I'm getting like a 3 or 4% thing on mine right now, and I've done it for 18 months. A tax advantage index strategy, conceptually. Okay. Bank savings account, very safe, typically FDIC, NCUA, insured by certain limits. Low interest rates, which the bank can change at any time. Interest is taxable each year as ordinary income. Very liquid. You can move money in and out easily. Greater for emergency funds and short-term goals. Downside, over long periods, the rate is often lower than inflation, so your purchasing power shrinks, even though the number in the bank might tick up a little. Certificate of deposit, still very safe. You lock in money for a specific term, 6 months, 1 year, 5 years. Usually a higher rate than regular savings account. Interest is usually taxable each year. Check specific rules. Penalties if you pull money out early. Great for money you don't need until the CD matures, and when you want a bit more than savings but still want the bank safety. Downside, still taxed each year, may only slightly beat inflation. Tax advantage index strategies. Here we're combining two ideas: index based interest, some upside exposure, downside protection. Plus advantages either tax deferred or in some designs potentially tax free under the current rules if structured properly and used correctly. Conceptually compared to bank versus CD, growth potential higher than bank or CD over the long term, not guaranteed because you're linked to an index rather than a fixed rate. That's right. Protection. A floor may protect against market losses, again, subject to contract terms. Taxes often grow tax deferred. In some structures, like properly designed policies, distributions can be managed in a tax advantage way under the current law. Trade offs, more complexity to understand, may have fees, caps, and surrender periods, not FDI assured, and you're dealing with an insurance company or similar entity, not a bank. So you can think of it like this: bank account, maximum safety, access, minimal growth, not smart. CD, safety, less access, little more growth, little smarter. Index tax advantage strategies, very smart. Still focused on protection with higher growth potential and tax benefits. Me and my wife have that strategy. We also have the living benefits strategy. If myself and her get sick, we're not going to be in the poorhouse because of our medical bills. We can borrow against that, especially if I'm the main income earner, which I was and still am. But because I've created multiple streams of income, typically that shouldn't affect us, but it can. And we have that protection in there, and we have the death benefit. See, that's the beauty of it. I've got multiple insurance policies. One has long term care, it has all kinds of stuff in it, and it has an annuity. So, what I'm doing is I'm paying a monthly premium to guarantee me that upon this, that when it matures, I'm able to take a certain amount every single year, tax deferred, tax deferred. But talk to a tax person about that too. Like I said, there's certain rules that you've got to be under a certain threshold. Index tax advantage strategies still focus on protection with high growth potential and tax benefits, but with more moving parts and long term commitments. That's why having an education first and working with a licensed professional is so important. That's why the company that I'll be working with, one of the largest teams in Virginia Beach, is going to get me up to speed. I've already sent them the questions I have. And so on the 29th, I'll start that journey towards getting my license, paying my fees, and doing the requirements to, and then learning the culture and understanding that this culture fits what I did in the military when I was teaching sailors budgeting and as a command financial specialist. And I'm also a client, so I can personally attest to how it's been a blessing for me and my family just over 2 years, our partnership together. And it makes sense. It just makes sense in this crazy economy that with the dollar crumbling, outside of that, I invest in silver and it's killing it. It's killing it right now. I'm just replacing some of those lost dollars that I get with a tangible hard asset. So that can be another subject in itself. But that's personally myself. That's up to that person. So what is a index account and how that compares to just leaving money in the bank or CD? And then you're already ahead where most people start. My role as a home-based business owner and as a future licensed consultant is to help you ask better questions and understand your options before you ever sign anything. Remember, you're in control. It's your money. God has stewarded that over you. If you're in the Greater Hampton Roads, Virginia area and like to attend one of the Money One educational events at the Westin in Virginia Beach, you're going to get a 1 hour presentation, no pressure sales. And at the end, they're going to feed you. And then there's a quick survey that you can fill out if you want more information and then get you back with the agent, that the licensed agent, so you can have a confidential conversation and sit down at your business or wherever you want to sit down at. We're there to help you. They've helped me and my family, and I want to do that for our community as a servant and as a U.S. Navy service, a small veteran owned, disabled benefit person. I'm going to tell you, I've learned so much just by attending these 1 hour presentations. It's helping me. I believe this is going to be a natural fit for me. I believe this is my new calling after leaving my cybersecurity career over 30 years, including my military time. It's just time to go. It's just time to work for myself and help people and also take care of my health so I can live long, have a prosperous life, and be able to enjoy life the rest of my life helping you, the 83% of you, 250 million Americans in all 50 states. We can help you. So, if you want to have a conversation about the situation, a licensed professional from our team and reach out, um, uh, you can go to, and I'll share this out right here now in the page so you can follow me and know how to contact me. So, go here to this. This is my IA agent to have. My email is right here on the screen, homeprofitcoach2012@gmail.com. My Facebook profile, so you can see what I stand about. And if you're building an online income and want to use AI to create content fast for your home business, yes, I'm also a business owner. You can check out my AI content co-pilot for home business growth. Get that free resource. Thanks for watching. If this was helpful, hit like and subscribe and share it with someone who never got a real money education but deserves one. If you like, and that's it, people. That's the key right now. I wanted to share this with you because this is crucial in the times that we live in, and I want to provide great value to each and every one of you. So if you're in the Greater Hampton Roads area, please reach out to me. Again, I'll provide my stuff on the screen here, my Facebook, my blueprint. Let me go here, Control C. Let's go here right now. Put this on the screen, and you'll see this in front of you before I close it up. Boom. Okay, so let's go here to this. Boom. Okay. So here's a free resource, my AI content. Okay. And if you wanted to know more, Home Profit Coach, this is my personal account. You can send me and I'll direct you in the right area. You can go here, go to my email right there too. So you got this. And as I said before, we have been clients of this incredible organization. I love their culture. I love they use a business model of education. They're just showing you what's available, and then you, the consumer, choose. I call it, in my belief, a spiritual deposit. Every time you get paid your 2 week salary, why don't you deposit something in something that's going to multiply through compound interest, through the indexed accounts, through the S&P 500, where when the markets are up, you're capped at a certain amount. I think right now ours is capped at 11%, I think, based on legislative laws, if I recall right. So you'll get 11%, but they say the market goes down to 20%. You don't lose 20%. You keep the 11%, and then up, down, up, down. That's how the market works. And people need to understand to be better stewards of their money that they've been stewarded of, whether they believe that yeah, Yeshua is their Lord and Savior, Jesus is the Lord and Savior, is not. I'm going to tell you, He's mine. He's blessed and multiplied the stewardship dollars in my investments that I have been spiritually linked with, and I take that seriously. And I want to help bless families so you can create generational wealth that you can pass on to your families and their families and your grandchildren. That's a powerful thing. That's why my new mission is to educate, invite, and then you decide, do you want to work with an incredible organization that's about to help you, or do you want to continue to do it on your own and don't understand money? It's a smart financial choice. The choice is yours, people. Financial stewardship, look it up in the Bible if you are a believer. I believe in those principles. I believe that when God placed me in the military as a servant, and when it took me 18 years to become a command financial specialist, that propelled me to this moment. Now, in the Hebrew calendar, which we are studying on Monday nights, we're on the second week with Professor Weiss at Refresh Church, 1313 Burn Street. More than welcome to come out. We are recording this live. That's going to be powerful. In the Hebrew calendar, it talks about a season of change. Well, I'm in a season of change. I'm leaving a 30-year cybersecurity career to go into the financial education and insurance agents type of thing. Now, if this is something that interests you, there are plenty of spots open. We're 65% women from the statistics that I listened to in my initial video that I was given. And women are great at relationships. Men, we're straight shooters, but understand that I'm a different creature when it comes to marketing because I've been doing marketing for a while. As I mentioned before, I have two businesses. They're on the screen down below, or they were posted. And what I love about it is that I use the same tax savings that the rich use. At the Home Profit Coach Inc. LLC in Virginia Beach, Virginia, I've been doing it for over 30 plus years. I started back in Hawaii when I was stationed out there in the late 90s. I found a $10 company that I was still part of. Didn't know what I was doing, but guess what? At the end of the day, I realized that hey, the tax savings make a lot of sense, don't they? You know, and that the money education that you get, right here, the money education that you get is crucial because you can understand how money can work for you using the eighth wonder of the world, compound interest. And you can see why the one percenters have been using this for over 200 years to keep their wealth. Put it into an S&P 500 where they're investing money collectively, entrepreneurs and other people, and they have proven products and services compared to the Dow. So if you're ex-military, you still have your TSP, this organization can help you roll that over into something even better because you're in the market and the market's going to correct itself, people. The dollar is truly dying, and you got to know that I go to the last 5 years. I've been not only working with this organization, but the last 5 years, I have had the blessing to be able to be part of an organization that has allowed me to also on my portfolio have hard assets, silver, gold. My silver has increased since last year 147%. Do you know any? Is your TSP or is your 401k giving 147%? I don't think so. I don't think so. It is a it is from the good soil. God mentions it. And in Mark 4:20, it talks about the parable of the mustard seed, right? And being a good steward of what that mustard seed. That mustard seed, I just planted a small little monthly deposit into my spiritual bank account, and God multiplied it 147%. And I'm telling people, if you want to know more, I'll post this on the screen too. Check out this resource here. You'll thank me later. I love it because this guy is equally yoked with me. He is a patriot. He loves KEPM.com. KEPM.com. Go to that website. They're people over profits. One of the largest precious metals dealers he's been doing, Dr. Kurt Elliott's been doing for 30 years. He's written numerous books on this. He's got 2 PhDs. One's a master's in theology with links to my as a believer in Christ. And also, he has one in a PhD and master's in uh, economics and political, I forgot what it was and stuff like that. But it's very important economics, just say that, and how politics work in it and how the international stage works on it. The guy has been spot on. Right now we are at $90 per silver and almost 4,600 in gold. That's the true value of what the dollar should. It's representing truly what the dollar has deteriorated so much. Do you want to use a fiat currency, or do you want to use from the good ground God's money? So you can do that, and you can have these tax deferred vehicles that our licensed agents, I will be a future licensed agent, can help you with. And all we do is invite you out. That's it. And then you, Hampton Roads, make the decision. And I want to bless our believers and our non-believers, because I want you to be able to generally break that curse to say, hey, money, you're not an object that I worship, but I want to be a better steward of what God has given me, my time, talents, and abilities, and the money. It's just like when you tithe to the church. That goes to bless the kingdom in your spiritual deposit. And God looks at it and says, thank you. But why don't you thank your family because you work hard for your money? If you're not a business owner, guess what? It's a great time to start a business. And if you're interested in what I'll be doing too, guess what? We have spots for you too. Just come to the Money 101, talk to one of the agents, and if you're interested, you can fill out that survey. That'll get you more information for it, just like they did with me. And like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing you at our next Money 101 or networking event. And there's so many people that I'm going to definitely help. I've already got a lot of people that I know that can definitely be blessed by this. And this is going to be a blessing for me, because if I can continue to provide for my family and do it from home and take care of my health and really put my body back into where it needs to be aligned, and also aligned with the Father, with Jesus, that's a beautiful thing. And that's what I'm about. I'm about helping, be a servant, as I'm retired US Navy, service disabled, small disadvantaged business owner, but also I am leaving a career I've had for over 30 years, 10 years as a contractor practically, and then a total of 30. And I'm moving into a new season in the Hebrew calendar, which means Howard feels a relief and a burden, because God has multiplied and he's taken away from the end of 2025 to 2026, but he's revealing things to leaders within the Hampton Roads area. Know where your spiritual dollars are being deposited. Take care. God bless.